Alrighty, so it says we are live. Let me refresh the YouTube. Let me mute the YouTube.
Hey, I'm just happy that it is up and running.
Yeah, me too. My goodness.
I was having fun on Twitter though, you know.
I know, it's like you're a lifesaver with the Twitter. I'm just like, what is going on? Oh my goodness. All right. Hello, lovelies. So sorry about the delay. I don't know what's going on with my computer. I'm on my husband's computer. He didn't have anything set up, so I'm so sorry. But here we are, talking about shifters. My name's Nicole. You're on my channel. Hi. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day and you are ready to talk about some shifter romances. They're wonderful. Angela, my bestest friend.
Hi, everybody. I know I was trying to keep you guys company over on Twitter while Nicole was working out her little tech difficulties. So thank you for tweeting with me and the few of you who DM me on Instagram. I mean, I was here ready to talk about shifters, so it was a lot of fun. I was glad you guys were able to keep me company and for being so understanding about this. I mean, you guys are so sweet. Only romance readers read us understanding. We're just, it's the greatest community.
Right, exactly. Oh, alrighty. So we have April. April, hi. And then Miraz, hello. How are you?
Oh, yeah. I get really anti. I was going to say, I'm Angela, by the way. And my channel is Books Are My Heart. I was tweeting with you guys over the Romantics at Heart Twitter, and mine is @WriterAHeart. So for those of you who are keeping me company, you guys are awesome, and I love you and I appreciate you. And for those of you who haven't, and you just know me from Nicole's channel, it's nice to meet you.
Yes. Alrighty. So since we are running a little bit behind, do we want to just jump right on in and get started?
So pumped. I have my list. I am ready to go. This is my favorite subgenre. I mean, I have so much fun. I read shifters. I have 3 shifter books that I've been working on myself. Shifters are they're my bread and butter of romance. I love them. So I was really looking forward to this, which is why I was so excited. You guys are tweeting with me. It was just I love this.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I was so last week when you were at RWA, which yay, we missed you. I was like, it was a Tuesday, and I'm like, I feel like we should have a Romantics at Heart live stream, but we don't.
I know, it was weird. And the thing is, I had the worst delay ever. I had this 10-hour delay or something, so I didn't end up boarding my flight until 10:30, 10:45 at night. So theoretically, technically, I could have done the live stream. I was supposed to be in Denver at that point, though, and already landing. Things just did not work out well on Tuesday. So, I mean, I guess when there's no live streams, my Tuesdays are just, there's no telling what's going to happen. I should still be doing live streams on Tuesdays.
Right. Lady Gizmo's here. Hi, how are you? April, she's excited because she hasn't read any shifter books. Ooh, so you're gonna get a lot of recommendations tonight. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh my goodness. I am so excited to introduce you to shifters. So I feel like I'm jumping ahead now because I love T.S. Joyce. And so I've gotten 3 other people to read her now. And my friend Tori is now obsessed with her. And I'm like, I am taking credit for this. I've been getting her into T.S. Joyce. So that was my first recommendation for the night. But it's so much fun when people haven't read a shifter author and then you introduce them to someone. And now I've been, DMing back and forth to Tori going, did you read the latest one? The heroine's so exciting. She's so, optimistic and perky. And, she's wearing these bright pink colors and it's so much fun. There's just something just genuinely exciting about shifter romances to me. I'm so excited that this, I'm so excited to introduce you to some Joyce. This is great.
Yeah, I love me some shifter romances as well. And I actually got some recommendations from Twitter from T.S. Joyce actually today when we were talking, going back and forth. I forget who recommended it to me, but hopefully we'll see her in the live stream.
Lena recommended it. She was one of the people I really bonded with about T.S. Joyce because I interviewed her for my dissertation, and then she's like, "Oh, I love T.S. Joyce," and I'm supposed to be the stoic little interviewer, and I'm going, "Me too." We started going off on tangents talking about her, for the we were talking about for the Pride of the Crow, and so we were talking about her books. It was one of those fun moments where when someone reads the person that you read. So Lena, she recommended T.S. Joyce. She doesn't have a Twitter, so T.S. Joyce only has an Instagram, so you guys should go follow her there.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. We have Lady Gizmo haven't read any. Shifter Romances, Ash Hearts Books. Hi, how are you? She's been in such a mood for paranormal romances. So yeah, tonight is the night for you then, girl. Bring on the werewolves. That's what Lady Gizmo is saying. And Deanna, hi, how are you? Only here for a few minutes. That's okay. That's perfect. Just stop in whenever you can. Carolina is asking, what are shifters? Angela, if you would like to tell everybody what shifters are.
Take it away. So, I mean, so shifters, that's, you know, when you have your werewolves, we have, you know, you have your werebears, we have all these fun little terminology for them. So basically you have your, you know, your paranormal person who can change into an animal of some sort. So it's, I mean, again, this is where shifters get really, really fun. You never really know the animal you're going to get. So we were talking over on Twitter about Shelley Lawrenston, how she has her badgers. I was talking about T.S. Joyce and how she has her squirrels. I mean, you can have any type of paranormal shifter. So that just adds something, you know, kind of different to the romance, especially because usually you then have the family dynamics or the pack dynamics, and you have all these other things you have to account for, and then there's the world building. So paranormal shifter romances require, you know, a certain level of, I mean, there's a thought process there, and so they have their own kind of rules that you have to abide by. I mean, if you don't explain your world and have that stuff, I mean, it's going to be an interesting read. It's going to be harder. So yes, squirrels. I think up with Doug where he's like, squirrel, that's totally what I just did right there. But yeah, squirrels, I mean, again, you can have any type of shifter. I mean, the go-tos are the bears and wolves, but there's a range in there. We were talking over on Twitter, and someone was referencing dolphins. So again, any type of shifter, they're fair game, but hopefully that answers your question. I'm just so excited to talk about them, so I'm just, you know,
I know, I love how she's like, squirrels, 3 question marks. It's so funny. Natalie's here. Sorry, what did you say?
No, it was a very clever book because the character she was an original shifter, so she had two squirrel parents, and so she kind of became human after a certain point as a squirrel. So it was very clever. Again, with the world building, that's the best thing about the shifters. You get different things going on there. I mean, you can't have pack dynamics if there's no pack, you know, of wolves. That's fine.
Right. That sounds really interesting. Natalie's here. Hi, how are you? And then Bree, hi, how are you? We love Bree. Hi, Bree, how are you?
I love everybody. Everyone's just so great. And Bree, I saw her. She had her Kiss Quotient post the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, everyone's talking about Kiss Quotient. Everyone's posting about this, and I saw her. I was like, hey, Bree's reading this too.
Yeah,
not a book, by the way, not a shifter book.
No. It seems very hyped though, because I do see a lot of people who are reading it and they're liking it. So I'm really excited. I put it on my to be read list. So when I get to it.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the escort trope. That's not really my favorite. So she hires the heroine. She has Asperger's, and she hires a prostitute to teach her how to, you know, be more outgoing and engaged in certain ways, shall we say, to be polite. That's not really my trope. So it's not really, you know, it's not really a book that I naturally gravitate towards, but because everyone else is reading it, I read it. So, I mean, it's one of those books that's just become a really big kind of impactful moment for Romancelandia because the heroine is so different. And so people just really, really like that book.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you did read it, you said?
I did.
All right, but what's tonight? We are shifters tonight. Angela, if you want to go first, or I can go first, whichever.
I mean, I was already talking about her. My number one is T.S. Joyce, in case you're curious. And so basically, I'm going by authors. So when it comes to shifter romances, at least this is what I found, you have a lot of series, or you have people who are very prolific, so that they're producing, you know, a good body of shifters. So I chose a few of my favorites from her. So that's the way I'm doing it. She has 61 books, and I've read all of them.
Wow.
Multiple times. What is it? Werebears or Sawbears? I've read that series, I think, 2 or 3 times. So go read her books, especially because right now she has some free on Amazon. She just announced this yesterday on Instagram. So if you want to go read her and you haven't read her yet, go on Amazon and get her free books right now. This is only, I think, on for a couple of days. So go do that. Do not
doing it immediately.
Do not forget. She posted this on her Instagram, and I had this moment of, I've already bought all your books. And so at least now that I have this knowledge, I can share it with you to go get her free books. Again, I've already purchased all of them. She's made quite a bit of money off of me. So she's, I'm not even kidding, again, because I don't do Kindle Unlimited, so I buy all the books. I know she's in the KU program, so if you do have a KU, you can go read her as well. So I chose a couple books from her that I really, really like. So my first one is The Sawbears #5. This is my favorite because it's a arranged marriage, and it's so different because you have a dragon who is forced to marry a bear. It is I like
Nice.
it. I mean, it's pretty cool. And I love the main character. Her name's Diem. She is really strong. She's feisty. She kind of has this stoic nature to her at times because her dad's been a big, part of her life. And the forced marriage trope, I mean, it's so hard to do well, especially in a contemporary, but she did it. So she not only had the contemporary forced marriage, she had the shifter forced marriage. And I loved it. I love the guy, the hero Bruiser. He's such a doll. I loved him. It's such a pretty book.
That's awesome. Dragons and bears, huh? That's awesome.
I mean, she has quite a few good ones. So I chose my top 4 out of 61 books. So I chose my top 4. So that was my first one from her that I really, really loved because I also read these in order. So this one came out, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. And then I loved, I was going to say, you love your cinnamon roll characters. You love the heroes, your cinnamon rolls. So this one I specifically chose just for you. So in Harper's Mountains, #3, Air Rider. He is Air Rider, Ryder. He is a little owl shifter, and he's your little cinnamon bun or your little cinnamon roll. I know you love them. He is so cute and sweet and funny. You'll love him. I think he was voted like her #1 hero or something out of 61 books. So
Wow.
So go read that one if you want your little cinnamon roll hero. He is so much fun, and he has this dog who he loves, and he really wants a relationship, and that is so not what you usually get with he's not a playboy or anything like that. So you just gotta love him. You just gotta love him.
Awesome. An owl. That's really interesting. Wow.
She has some unique shifters in the mix. There's another one where they have ravens, and she has her crow series. So again, if you want different types of shifters, she's your girl. And then my absolute favorite from her is Red Havoc Guardian. This is my favorite. Out of 61 books, this is my favorite. I love it.
Wow.
So we have Grayson and Genevieve. And so she is a gorilla shifter. He is a little panther. Again, we're mixing the shifters here. This is my favorite book. He is kind of this laid-back, low-key character, and this is the 4th one in the series. So you kind of get to see him a couple of times throughout the other books, but he's very quiet, almost to the point where he's a non-existent character. And so he has to talk when it comes to Genevieve because she's deaf, and he has to be able to be there for her. So he has to kind of come out of his shell to be the guy for her, and she is just the cutest, sweetest character. I love her so much, and she pops up at the end of the series again, and I'm just so excited to see her. So that is my #1 pick, Red Havoc Guardian for T.S. Joyce. I love that book.
That's awesome. I'm writing down everything, all the books that we're going to be discussing, because last time we had a recommendation, I listed all the books that were discussed. So if you ever wanted to go back and you had something to reference, so I'm going to be doing that again. And so what's the title again? One more time.
So this one is Red Havoc Guardian, and I just saw the question pop up. So this is the fun thing about T.S. Joyce for me, is that you will end up reading about the children. So I will recommend that you read these books in order. So there are 61 books, but again, you should read these in order, because when you have Sawbears, they will be the parents for the next few series. So when you come to Harper's Mountains, you will have met, I met Little Rider in one of the first series, because you meet his parents and you see them fall in love. So his mother was an owl shifter, and his father's not in the picture, but then she marries a boar. She marries this. Wow. He's like, are you a pig? And he doesn't understand what the animal is. So, I met Little Rider, and then all of a sudden he gets his own book, 20 books later. And it was so exciting to see that. I'm going, I remember you. And she also had that with another of the heroes. His name was Aaron. So you see him as this little bear cub, and he's so cute, and he just has these fun little one-liners. And then you see him as a stoic adult and going, oh, no. I remember when you were a little kid stealing bacon off of your mother's plate. No. So I would say read these books in order, because you'll have more fun. Not necessarily because you won't understand it, but because you'll get the references. They're the little Easter eggs and stuff. So you'll get, you'll appreciate it more, I think. But again, I actually read the Red Havoc Guardian series first, and then I went back. And then I read it. It was
That's awesome.
So that's my first one. T.S. Joyce, go read her. I recommend her very, very highly. Her books are not that long either, so you're not going to be reading a 400-page book. They're mostly like around 200 pages, so they're pretty quick reads.
Yeah,
awesome.
As you know,
like, yeah.
I love how that there's just such a wide like range of shifters in those books. Like we got gorillas, we got boars, we got badgers, squirrels, owls. I mean, it's like amazing.
Well, I was going to say my honorable mentions for her, like my top 5. I was looking at, again, Red Havoc, but again, I was going with Red Havoc Guardian because that's my favorite. She has one Red Havoc Bad Cat. So again, we have a panther, but then his mate, she is this white falcon, so she's extremely rare. And then we have Sons of Beasts, and the heroine for that is Little Fox Shifter. So again, total range. I love it because you're not reading, again, I love my bears, I love my wolves, but you're not reading the same one over and over again. So you get different family dynamics, the world building. I love it. It's very different for each of the books.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to pick everything up by her, especially take advantage of that she has free stuff now on Amazon.
I was gonna say that's the other thing too. So she had Sons of Beasts as one of her free books, but again, the son. You meet the hero. You see him as a little kid in earlier books, and so he is a free book right now. I can't remember his name, but his father's name is Colton, and he's this crazy guy. His book is off the charts, hysterical, bonkers. He's nuts, but I love him. So I mean, the free books. I mean, she was very. You could see the strategy of wanting you to then go back and read the ones beforehand. Very smart marketing. Very smart marketing.
Absolutely. You get those, like, I don't know if you follow stuff on Facebook, but then they advertise like the free book, and it's always usually the first one, and then you get hooked on the series, and then the prices of the next in the series just go up.
I mean, she's in KU, and she usually has the 99-cent release day. So for, I think the first few weeks when a book is released, it's 99 cents, then it jumps up to $1.99. But she did the free release. I'll look it up on her Instagram. But I think they're all free, but they are the first books in the series. But the way she did it was you would have, it wasn't the beginning series or the last series. It was one of the series in the middle. So then you would have to go and read at the beginning. So it was a smart woman. Very smart.
Very smart. Danny is here from the Insatiable Bookie. Hi, how are you? She is a fellow Arizonian booktuber. Hello, how are you? Okay, so the first one that I want to talk about, and yes, I think literally every single book that I have on my list is from a series too. It's just kind of like the nature of the game when you get into shifter romances. But the first one I have is A Hunger Like No Other, and that is from the Immortals After Dark series by Kresley Cole. It is the second book in the series out of 18. So, I mean, you won't have to read too far to get to your shifters, but this is it's a vampire and a werewolf shifter, paranormal romance. And the main character, his name is Lachlan, but he is Scottish, so that's another thing that I love in my romance books is Scottish protagonists. But yeah, this series is actually phenomenal. I mean, I really enjoy reading this whole series. And again, like Angela said, I would suggest reading like from the beginning just because you get more of the experience, and you get to, in later books, you get to see characters that you've already met, and that's always fun, and how they're progressing and they're happily ever after. So that's what I really like. So the female protagonist in this series, her name is Emmeline, and I just love her. She's half Valkyrie, half vampire, so that's interesting. So the two main characters, one is a werewolf or a wolf shifter, and then the female protagonist is a Valkyrie and a vampire. So that's really interesting. I thought was really cool about this book.
I've seen that book pop up. I think I've read it a long time ago, but it always pops up, and I'm totally accidentally putting on the spot, and I don't mean to, on the controversial list book. Mm-hmm. It always comes up. It does. Whenever I was doing research, it pops up as kind of, oh, how are we interpreting this? Do we like this? Do we recommend this? So I was just kind of curious, like if you encountered any of that or what you thought of any of those potential elements.
I mean, I haven't actually even heard that it's very controversial, but now I want to go look it up and see. But I actually in this kind of dynamic, especially with the alpha male mentality, you do get kind of just how their personalities are. They're very, you know, my way or the highway kind of thing with your alpha males. But I've read some pretty bad ones recently, so those are basically sticking out in my mind more than this one. I didn't take any kind of offense to it when I was reading it. Again, I did read it. I read it a long time ago. Like you said, I'm kind of more into the later books in this series, but I do remember enjoying it. I think I gave it like 4 stars on Goodreads. So.
That is a pretty high rating from you. Usually, I mean, you don't hold back.
No, I don't. I mean, if I reread it now, I'd be like, no, he's terrible.
It's true, though.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's true though, because you would just flat. I mean, she's blunt in like the most entertaining way. I mean, it's hysterical. But you just come out and say, "No, I did not like this guy for X reasons."
For X, Y, and Z. No, I don't know if you've read my latest review for. I think it's called Dark Desire by Christine Feehan. Yeah, I didn't like that too much.
I haven't seen that because I'm still catching up. I made a promise to myself. I mean, I did post stuff, but I didn't read anything while I was in Denver. So I'm so far behind. I had 700 emails I had to go through, so I'm still catching up on stuff. So if you guys post anything you really want me to see, make sure you tag me and let me know because I am so far behind right now.
Oh.
I'm behind.
Well,
but
I mean, you have a good excuse.
Oh, what's going on? Yeah, I looked it up. So I looked up the Instagram. So her free days are July 23rd through the 27th. So you guys have some free books there. So she has Husband for Hire, which is hysterical. You should read that. Mate for Hire, Red Havoc Road, the very first one of that series. Go read it. I believe her name is Annabelle, and that's Jackson or Jason's story. They're good, so go read it. This is her Instagram. Go follow it. Throwing that out there.
Ash is saying she really loved the first book in the Immortals After Dark, but for some reason I never continued. I need to ASAP. Isn't that so funny how you're like, oh yeah, I read that and I liked it. Why didn't I ever continue this series? Marassa is saying Son of the Cursed Bear is free. Awesome. She said
she's taking your review.
Yeah. And then April, I just picked up that Christine Feehan book, but then I saw your Goodreads review and now I'm like, meh. I don't know. There's just, I just can't get past it. I mean, if you've read my review, you know what my problem is with it. I just couldn't. It drove me crazy. But, yeah, I did not. I mean, I think I ended up DNFing it at 200 pages just because it was just one scene too many where he kind of asserted his own will on the female protagonist. And not like, you know, just telling her, like, this is what you're going to do because I said so, like mental manipulation. Like, he asserted his power over her because he's a Carpathian. I mean, he's a vampire. But, so, yeah, was not very, very pleased with that.
That's just what you want to read. Just I'm a little tired, so I think there's gonna be a little bit of a delayed reaction with me tonight. So I think everything's catching up with me. So
oh, wow.
It was my turn.
It is your turn, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there were more comments coming in because I was looking down. I was like, the dog had the bone, and he wanted me to know he had the bone. I don't know. He wanted attention. He's all trimmed now, so if you see him, he has very short fur now. So my second pick is P. Jameson, and it's just her, like, literally the first letter P. I'm just typing that in the section. So P. Jameson, again, I love my shifters. I love this topic. So we have her pack, and this one is, I think the third one in the series. It's called Racing Home. So these shifters are all into NASCAR. They're all racing cars. So that's kind of their jam for this series. They're all racing their cars. So Annie and Blister are my favorite couple from the series. I love them together so much. If you guys watch my channel, and you probably heard me talk about this, I love first love stories. I get the biggest kick out of them. I really enjoy reading them. And so this is a first love story. Makes my heart melt. I love them. And Blister's so sweet. He loves Annie. He's got those alpha tendencies, but he's not over the top. He does have more of a quiet disposition, and I really appreciate that. As the dog growls, like, yes, I totally agree with that. He's like, Mommy, whatever you were saying, I totally agree with. So Blister, he was in a fire when he was a kid, so he's really scarred. I think this is supposed to be like a little bit of the Beauty Beastman, motif going there. So he's got a lot of scars, and again, because he has the scars, he's, quieter. He's not outgoing. He's kind of self-conscious, and so he's always saying, "Oh, she's so beautiful. I can't go up to her." He knows she's his mate, but he's so scared to approach her because he thinks he's unattractive and ugly. Meanwhile, she's crushing on him, and he just doesn't know it. So you have these two people who, who really want to be together. We're just trying to get over their own qualms, and it's great. I love it.
Isn't that so like true though? Like the man is like, oh, I want to approach her, but she's so beautiful, I can't. And then the girl is like secretly crushing on him. Like, isn't that always the case?
She has the biggest crush on him. And so this is, I think, the third book in the series. And so you meet these two characters beforehand, and you kind of get a little hint that they might have a little something going on crush-wise. But he is so quiet, and he's really got that PTSD going from the fire because his family died. He actually can't sleep in a bed. This is his biggest thing. He can't sleep in a bed because that was where he was when the fire started. So he sleeps in a tent. And so he's got a lot of issues that he's trying to, personally overcome. And he thinks because he has these issues, he's not worthy of love. And so your heart just melts for him, and you just want the best for him. But he's so sweet with her. There's a scene. My favorite scene is when he deliberately drives out of his way. I think there's a tornado or a twister or something. There's some sort of natural disaster, and he rushes right to her house. He's never actually had a real conversation with her, but he just loves her. He's crushing on her, his fated mate. He just wants to make sure she's okay, and so he goes to her house, and she's standing there in just this oversized shirt, going, "Hi, how are you?" I mean, she doesn't care if there's a disaster. She's just so excited to see him. I just thought that was awesome. I love it. So go read it. And I think this was her favorite couple to write, P. Jameson, or maybe her most well-received, because they actually have a follow-up novella, which is the sweetest thing ever. It's called Home for the Holidays. So if you like the book, you can then go get the novella. And I highly recommend you get that novella. Go get it. So I get the biggest kick out of them because, again, they're just so cute together. You just want them to be in love and be happy.
That sounds adorable. I'm going to read it immediately.
Well, so I was very deliberate with this tonight. All of my picks are indie or hybrid authors. And so T.S. Joyce is indie, P. Jameson is indie. So I'm trying to give my indie authors some shout outs tonight.
Nice. That's awesome.
Trying to do my part. I think indie authors, it's so hard when you're trying to get reviews and get shout outs. And here are two indie authors I really, really enjoy reading, and I highly recommend them.
I think Ash is asking what was the name of the P. Jameson book.
This one is called Racing Home. The very first one is Racing Home, and I'll type that. As my capital letters go on. So Racing Home is the first one, and then Home for the Holidays is a novella.
Okay. Awesome.
And again, he's got that, he's still trying to overcome the fire elements. So she wants a Christmas tree, but he's scared. Oh, what if it catches on fire? So he's downstairs sleeping on the couch because he's worried about her safety. He's so concerned that the tree with the lights is just going to catch on fire. He's going, no, I need to protect my mate. I need to make sure the tree does not catch fire. I know she wants the tree. I will let her get the tree. I will support her with this. It's so funny. Like, he loves her so much, and he's just such a sweetheart. I wish he was real because I just want to give him a hug. I just love this character so much. I love Blister. It's a terrible name for a character, Blister. I mean,
Blister.
To be honest, it's a weird first name, but I love him. So I don't even care. I got over that very, very quickly.
It is. I mean, Blister is kind of a weird name, and then the fact that he was also in a fire, and I'm just like, that's not, no.
Well, it's not his real name. I don't remember the real name, but it was a conversation in the book. He took it on as a new name when he was in the pack, and it's because he doesn't feel connected to his old life. So he has the name Blister because he thinks he is representative of the scars and stuff, and so she's telling him to own it. So it is a part of the narrative in a way. But again, it's, you usually have the strong names, and you get Blister, which, again, you kind of got to give her credit for doing something different, though.
I mean, it sounds awesome. I love that.
I'm glad. I was trying to choose like the lesser known books as well. So
yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I love that. Okay. My next books, it's actually two books from this series, the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn Kenyon. The first book is Night Play, which I have the books for this one. Ooh, oh, sorry. Wow. Wow, light. There it goes. Night Play, and then second book is Bad Moon Rising. So this is from the Dark Hunter series. Night Play is book number 2. Bad Moon Rising is book number 15. Sorry, out of 28. I just recently reread this entire series last year, and I loved it. I love Sherilyn Kenyon. There's a lot going on, but these are it's another, you have vampires in this world, you have shifters in this world, you have like demons and all kinds of different mythologies, just awesome. And so these 2 books are actually about brothers, and they have other brothers and they have their books as well, but these 2 really got to me. First one, Night Play, I love the female protagonist. Her name is Bride. She is a, strong, independent woman. She owns her own business, and she's just trying to make it. And she thinks no one could be attracted to her, and especially not someone, that is as sexy as our male protagonist, because she's kind of, she's the bigger girl, like the, the heavier set, curvy. And she just thinks, that, someone as sexy as him wouldn't, be attracted to her. But, it's kind of like he knows instantly that she's his mate, and he's stopping at nothing. He's not pulling his punches. He is in it to win it, to get her to be his mate. And it's just super cute. And the next one, Bad Moon Rising, it's so like frustrating, because you get to the beginning of the series and then you meet these characters and you're like, I want them to have their book. I want them to have their book. And it's book number 15 that you're waiting this whole time for this book. And he is a wolf shifter, and the female protagonist is a werebear, a bear shifter. And it's just the prejudices that go along with species or intershifter relationships, and they're trying to overcome that. And he has some very bad post-traumatic stress, so she's helping him with that. And it's just very cute, very heartwarming, and she's just trying to heal him from his past traumas, and it's just super cute. And I love both of these books.
Aww. I love how you said you had to wait until book 15. That is some patience right there. I think you should get a gold star or a cookie or something as a reward.
I think it made me read faster, because I'm like, I want these 2 to have their book, and like, okay, what do I have to get to? 15? Okay.
You're like, I will get there. This is happening. That's so cute.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this series as a whole. It really delves into some different kind of mythologies, and like not only Greek mythology, but Native American mythology, Egyptian mythology. It's awesome. I love, I learned probably so much about through these books that made me want to go and research more and learn more about these mythologies because of just what was in these books. It was just awesome. I loved it.
Oh, now you're making me want to go. I think I read that a while ago. Now I have to go back and be like, when did I read this? I want to go reread this. I also love how you have all the paper book, the paper copies, because all mine are ebooks. All my recommendations are ebooks, so I'm happy. She's correct.
I'm it.
And the thing is, I don't even know if they saw that because of the way the Google Hangouts fluctuates back and forth, the way you're just caressing the books.
Yeah, because when you're talking, the screen's on you. When I'm talking, the screen's on me. I tend to do all my weird stuff when Angela's talking.
I think you do that on purpose, though, because you don't want people to see what you're doing. But I'm getting the biggest kick, and I'm trying to keep a straight face. I mean, I think you have that going for you. You know how to manipulate the Google Hangouts. As she's again, she just did it, just as I'm doing that.
Oh, it's so funny.
You know what you're doing. You know how to manipulate Google Hangouts. I, however, do not. You just catch me looking down and going at my dog, like I'm staring at him weirdly, going, what are you doing down there? See, she's dancing. She knows exactly what to do.
And then I stop as soon as the camera's on me.
Okay, so Bree said she saw the caress. Good, okay. Because it's so cute. I mean, I think they miss some of the quirkiness and like adorableness that is you sometimes, which is very sad because you're so entertaining and sweet.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, I love you.
All right, so it is your turn. What is your next pick?
So my next one is a hybrid series for Jessica Sims, and it's called Midnight Liaisons. which is one of the strangest names for a title. I think it sounds as if there's a certain connotation there, but it's a dating agency for supernaturals. So the very first book in the series is Beauty Dates Beast. But I think the entire series is really good. I think every book progressively gets better as you read along. So I would say just read the series itself. So it starts with Beauty Dates Beast. She has all those fun little shifter puns as the titles, hence the little tongue twist going on there. So my favorites from her are the two novellas. So Bare Naked, Bare as in B-E-A-R, so Bare Naked, and then Claws and Defect, not Claws, but Claws, C-L-A-W-S. So you got the little puns in the titles. So those are my two favorites from her. I really, it's such a, it's one of those weird names, Bare Naked, but this one's one of my favorites because I get the biggest kick out of the heroine. Her name's Nicolina, and her hero is Leaf. He left their bear pack when he was 18. Everyone thinks he's just heartbroken because they have these arranged marriages in their bear pack. So his arranged marriage, partner, his fiance died. And so everyone thinks he's heartbroken, and that's why he ran away from the pack. And so Nicolina is going into heat, and she needs someone, to be the father of her cub because she's going into heat. And so literally nobody else is around in the pack, and she does not want the, males that are offered to her. So she goes on the hunt to go find, the recluse Leaf. And it is so entertaining because she's trying to figure out how to be a good person, and yet she's trying to figure out what to do with her heat, and she's falling in love with him in the meantime. So there are a lot of variables, and I love the perspective she has in terms of just she has fun with it, with the dialogue and point of view. So I just really get the biggest kick out of that book. And then the other one is Claws and Effect, again, C-L-A. I think you hear the word claws, and he's like, what about my claws? The dog. You have this moment of, wait a second, what am I doing? No, I'm not talking about him. So Claws and Effect. This one is about Lily and Ellis. You see these characters pop up in the rest of the series, but these are the two novellas. So Lily was being held by this vampire. Not people, we can't put vampires in shifters, but she's being held by this vampire. He's had her chained in this basement for, I think, 6 months. He gives her this ratty little bikini because he needs her arms and legs exposed so he can bite her and drain her blood. It's awful. She's really traumatized. And then the shifter pack of panthers and cougars and werebears, they all come and save her, which is awesome. It's like, this is in, I think, the second or third book in the series. And so they don't know what to do with her, though, because she knows too much. So they can't let her go because she wants to go home, but she was going to, rat on them. So she's forced to stay in the cabin. And guess, the hero is the one who's watching her. So he becomes her friend, and it's so cute because he brings her these baby kittens that he rescued. I mean, baby kittens. They have to wake up every couple of hours to feed them. They're just so cute. And I mean, I know they're fake and they're, made up, but I love them.
No, that's adorable. We all love them.
But he brings her kittens because she's stuck in this cabin, no TV, no nothing. He plays games with her. They talk. He brings her out for walks. He brings her kittens to take care of, to give her purpose. It's really sweet. And so I just like the dynamic that they kind of developed in that book as well. So those are my two picks from her. So Jessica Sims, Midnight Liaisons. I recommend it.
That's awesome. I love it. That just sounds so cute.
I mean, I'm going for books people probably, hopefully haven't heard of before. I really,
absolutely, I love it.
I wish there were more in this series. I really do, because I really enjoyed her sense of humor. I really liked the characters. I mean, she developed a really great world. You could tell there was some forethought outlining. This was not just, I don't think this is a complete pantser. She did that. She went back and edited and did a great job with it. And so I really liked that world. I wish there was more in this series. I really wish there was. So I'm disappointed that there aren't more books to recommend for her.
Who knows? Maybe she'll write more.
I know. Watch this live stream, Jessica Sims, and get inspired. We're not needing Leah for my life. I love them. They're just so cute. So please, little shout out.
Maybe she is, and she was like, "Oh, someone loves my stuff. I have to write more."
I do. I really enjoyed it. And then there's this giant, I didn't recommend the book. It's the second one in the series. Sarah's a wolf and Ramsey's this bear. He's 7 feet tall. He's the whitest, biggest character. Everyone is scared of him. And then you got to guess with him. His mate is barely 5 foot, 90 pounds. Like, they're just this complete opposite. And I love them. I mean, the entire series, all of the books are just so entertaining. I really enjoyed those books.
Awesome.
As you do, and you're like, yeah, I want to go read those now.
Yeah, I'm making sure that I write down everything now instead of having to go back and watch the live stream a second time through, because that's what I did last time. So I'm writing down everything that's being mentioned because I want to read them too.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be polite, but the name Midnight Liaisons, it's the dating agency name, but that's the name of the series. So I don't know if you get the full impact of the shifter world, but it's a good series. I enjoyed it, and it didn't take me that long to read it either. I've read the entire series, I think, twice through now.
Nice. Well, my next book is it's a couple books, but one that I want to talk about in particular. It's called Big Bad Wolf by Christine Warren, and it's from the Others series. This is book number 2 out of 15. And in this world, again, there's a lot going on. There are the shifters, the wolf shifters. There's also tiger shifters, lion shifters, bears. There's vampires, fairies. So a lot of things are happening in this world. But this is the second book in the series, and these two protagonists, this couple, are really so sweet. So it's just, ooh. So the female protagonist, her name is Missy. She is another kind of, curvaceous female. And Graham is the main protagonist. He is actually the alpha of this wolf pack. And new ancient law comes into effect that all alphas have to have a mate to continue on, the line and everything. And so he is hunting for his mate, and he instantly recognizes Missy as his mate. And of course, she is human, so she has no idea, this world even exists. So he has to, convince her and, try not to run her off with all the craziness that's happening. But Missy is so sweet. I mean, if you can't even tell by her name is Missy. I mean, I just like her. She's just so sweet, and they are just, I just want to eat them up. They're so cute. There's some scenes in this book where how he treats her. I mean, yeah, he's the strong alpha character, but he treats her with such delicacy, and she's so fragile. And I just think it's so sweet how he just acts around her. He's supposed to be this, big, strong alpha, werewolf, and everybody in his, pack is, respects and is afraid of him. But then this female can just reduce him to a pile of mush, and I love it.
Oh, I don't think I've read that one. Now I need to.
These were ebooks when they were first published, and then she republished the series in paperback, but they were republished not in sequential order. It was so weird, because I remember the first one that I read, it was book number 6, and I'm like, why are all these couples already together? So I had to go on Goodreads and see what the issue was, and just because they released them not in, sequential order, and it kind of made me really mad. But it was really, very cute. And I did end up reading, I think I got to the very end. I mean, there's 15 books. I mean, I did read them kind of a while ago, but yeah, definitely don't make the mistake I did, because you definitely want to start at the beginning, because the other characters that are in the beginning are going to be in the later books, and you kind of want to get the full effect as you do with series. So
I'm jealous of all the paperback copies you have. I only have a couple, shifter ones. This is one of the very few ones that I have. This wasn't one of my recommendations for the night. I just received this, the Bubbles Books and Bubbles box. They sent me. I'm doing an unboxing. I just totally spoiled the book out. I just outed the book that they gave me. So if you guys still want to watch the unboxing when it goes live, there's other goodies in the box. But this is one of the very few shifter ones, and I basically just really love the cover. There's something about shifter covers, I think, that's just really, I don't know, eye-catching. They're a little darker. They kind of have the blues and the blacks and the grays, sometimes the purples. There's something about a shifter romance cover where you can look at that and go, that's a shifter book.
Yep, dark, purple. I love this cover. It's you have the eyes up here, and then you have her just kind of waiting for him. Yeah, I like it. I like purple too. And it's
there's the purples and the blues. I mean, I kind of love the moon, and I love the eyes on this thing. I love the eyes. It's like I'm looking into your soul right now. I mean, so I just received that in their book box, and so this is one of the very few ones I have, and that's only because they included it. I end up buying, I think, a lot of them as ebooks, and I think that's because the authors release them as ebooks first, which is, you know, understandable, but at the same time, you want your paper. You know, I get to walk around now with this book, so
Yeah.
yes. I'm jealous of you with your paper copies over there. I love it.
Yay. I know, there's just something about, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the convenience of electronic, you know, ebooks and everything, but there's just something about having, you know, the copy in your hand and, you know, your library and, you know, yeah. I just.
I love the caress. I love that so much. That makes me so happy.
I know everybody's seen that one.
That one you were like, yeah, we'll wait until I'm on Goodreads. You're like, or not Goodreads, on the Google Hangouts. Again, I'm tired. Goodreads, Google. I just got those words interchangeable. So they're not. But that was so cute the way you caressed. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do that the way you kind of, how do you caress?
Do I caress?
Yeah, okay.
It's like you're laying on it and then you're, yeah. Caressing 101. That's what happened just now.
I was just snuggling with it. I was kind of curious if there was, I mean, she does the same kind of motion both times. I love it. So cute. Yes, this was from Bubbles and Books. That was, yeah. I was like, and by the way, yeah, so I'm going to just learn how to caress.
One time I fell asleep while I was reading a book, and my husband said that he saw me like laying on the couch and I was literally like this. Like holding the book to my chest. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I was like, and just so you guys know, and I don't get tongue-tied, I'm like, I will just add that to the comment section. Because I'm pretty sure I must have sounded as if I was tripping over my words there for a second.
Cutesy. Bubbles and books. That sounds cute.
Yeah, I think that was a really interesting combination of putting your, you know, your need to want to soak in the tub with your romance reading. You're just going to relax. I like that kind of motif. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Was that going to be your next turn, or do you want me to go again, or do you want to go?
So my number 4, yes, because we're on my 4th pick, I believe. Terry Bullrider and her Dragon series. So, again, independently published. I get the biggest kick out of these books because I don't want to call them formulaic, but if you like her writing in one book, you'll like it in the next book. She's got a consistency going for her, and so she names her dragons after the elements. So they have names like chromium, and then there's the poisons. You have arsenic. So they have these peculiar names, but they're so funny. Arsenic tries to cook, and again, he's the poison. You know, you're trying to associate poison with him, and he's trying to cook, and so he's a terrible cook.
That's hilarious.
I mean, she's extraordinarily clever because she makes these guys out of their element. They're totally out of their element. So they're aliens, or they've come from different planets. And then you have the ones who are from different galaxies. Some of them have been in ice, underwater, lost for centuries. So they're totally out of their element when they come to Earth. They have no idea what's going on. They look at a car and they're confused. I mean, there's a lot of humor to these books because they have no idea what's going on. The whole thing with Arsenic trying to figure out how to cook, he was used to cooking over fires, so when he sees the gas stove, it's a real thing for him. I mean, it's really funny. You just have a lot of moments like that I enjoy. So my 2 shout-outs of her would be the Rent a Dragon series and then Date a Dragon, and I will type those in just so you know. So basically, they're trying to find their mates. So in all of the book series, they have either an illness or they're trying to make sure that they stay grounded. And the only way they can do that is if they have a mate. So these guys are motivated to go find a heroine to be the female lead of their love story. They are motivated. I think my favorite is the guy who walks into a hair salon, sits there, and he's going, I want you. He just follows her around because he's just like, you're my mate. She has no idea what's going on, but you know, this guy is following her, and she's like, if you weren't attractive, I would have already called the cops on you because he's just so creepy. True. They have no idea how to interact. There's one book where the girl is a messenger, and so the guy is consistently ordering stuff via online outlets delivering stuff. She thinks he's just addicted to buying things on Amazon because he's always having her deliver stuff just because he's trying to get her into it, just to see her every day. So he's always buying stuff. And so the girl's going, oh, he must really, he just moved here or something. Why else would he be buying stuff consistently? And he's doing it so he can see her. He literally has this room filled with boxes. She doesn't find out until she's in the house after they've already gotten together. She sees this room and she's going, what is going on here? I mean, they're just really funny and quirky like that. So if you like different type of funny, Harry Bell Riders for you. Just putting that out there. So the Rent a Dragon series and the Date a Dragon series, I love them. I get the biggest kick out of them. And so
that's so funny.
These ones is so the Rent a Dragon ones, I get the biggest kick out of them is because they're handymen. So they're this again, the humor. So you have these kind of model-esque guys come to your home as your handyman to fix the drains and stuff. That's because again, they're trying to meet their women. So they figure, hey, if we've got enough jobs, we'll meet a single woman. That's kind of the mentality. And then same thing with the Date a Dragon. They figure, hey, if they need a date and we're looking for women, why not come to us? Because if you need a big, strong man to bring you to a wedding, why don't you come to us? So they kind of set themselves up to go meet the women. That's the whole point. They want to go find their mates. So it's just really entertaining. I just go read her. It's funny.
That is hilarious. Like these sexy, hot dragon shifter handymen. Yes, immediately.
It's so funny, though, because there's one in particular. So I wrote it down. So in the second book, in the Rent a Dragon, the main character, Lindy, she needs help with her auto body shop. And so she kind of hires him and he ends up fixing cars and stuff. She's renting him to go fix cars. And then in the third one, the heroine needs help fixing her house. And so he ends up doing a lot of the work for free because she can't afford him to fix the entire house. I think she called him for one, I forget if it was the drain or something, but she called him for one thing and he decides, I'm going to stay here. And he just starts fixing her house because he figures, you're my female. They have these moments and the dialogue is so funny. They're going, single female, you're my mate. Because they don't have the fated mates, but they'll feel a connection instantly. So she does some world building with that, but it's so much fun to see them engage with humans because they have no idea how to do that. So the quirkiness, I just get the biggest kick out of.
That's awesome. I love that.
And plus they're dragons, and dragons are awesome.
Absolutely.
I think her newest book actually just came out today for her latest series. So I think that one just came out. I think the first one was Midnight. And so the second one, his brother just got his story today. I'm on the newsletter mailing list. I just got that email earlier.
That's awesome. Perfect. I definitely have to look that up because I love me some dragon shifters. They're actually my favorite.
I love dragons. I think there was a show Lawrence and I just read where I was going, this is awesome. There's something about dragons. You just gotta love them. Again, in reference to Tears Storm, that had DM. She was a dragon. I love that.
Bree is asking, if you ladies could be the main character in an upcoming shifter novel, what would you want to shift into? Dragons for me. Dragons my favorite.
Dragons. My first thought was bear, just because they're so cute. There's something about, this giant grizzly bear being just cuddly and cute and adorable. I don't know if I'd want to change into it, but I just think they're awesome. I think I might go with a wolf. I think I might go for, a cute little wolf with, paws that have spots on it or something. I think a wolf would be cute because you just call dragon first, so I'll give you the dragon.
Yeah, I would definitely want to shift into a dragon. And if anybody else wants to comment an answer to that question, please, what would you like to shift into if you were the main protagonist in a shifter romance? I want to know. Me, dragons. Angela, wolf.
Well, I was going to say dragons. I could fly along, right? Right.
We can both be dragons.
Okay, you can be like a blue dragon. You said you like purple. I'll be the blue dragon. We'll take colors.
Nice.
We
can both be dragons.
Back,
No matter what species we are, we're going to be best friends.
Hey, Lady Gizmo, she remembers the squirrel.
Lady Gizmo's like, I want to be the squirrel now.
You can also be the badger. I think that is also an epic shifter. I think that is hysterical.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into like these squirrels, the badgers, the crows. They're not your typical like shifter, so I definitely want to look.
I lost my mind. Again, I'm giving T.S. Joyce the biggest shout out tonight. So in one of her books, her name was, I think, Vanya or Vina. I forget how to pronounce her name because, again, I'm reading it. I don't listen to the audio. She turns into a moose. She's a moose shifter. I have never seen that in any other series, and I've read quite a few shifter series and books. She's a moose shifter, and she ends up taking out these crows. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, she's got it. You know, she's got it covered. She's her own little protective guard. I mean, the guy is trying to be all big and brawny, and she's going, "You're a crow. I could take you." I mean, it's epic the way she says it. I love it. I've never seen a moose shifter before. I don't know if you have. Have you? I mean,
I have not. That is amazing.
I know. I love it when there's a random shifter, right? It's so much fun.
I love it. You're like, ooh, I've never heard of you before. All right.
Oh, when I saw the squirrel, I was so excited. It almost didn't matter what she wrote because I was going, I'm reading a squirrel shifter.
Oh, that's amazing. Romance Queen of BookTube. She wants to be a jaguar. To be a powerful cat. Yes. My next pick I have here is called Heart of the Dragon by Gina Showalter. Since we're talking about dragons, I just think it's just perfect to mention it. This is book number 1 in the Atlantis series. Yeah, book number 1 by Gina Showalter. And what's really, really interesting about this book series is that the paranormal and the fantasy aspect, they're not in the real world. They're actually in Atlantis, and you can get there through portals and things that you can, different, places in the actual world, and you can just, go through them, and you find yourself in Atlantis, which it's what happens to Grace. She accidentally discovers that, and she falls through this portal, and she winds up in Atlantis. She doesn't know where she's at, and she meets Darius, and he is a dragon shifter. And I love Grace. She's a fiery redhead, and her attitude and sass are just fantastic. I love her so much. And and then Darius, he is, he's the epitome of tall, dark, and handsome. I mean, he's just fantastic. These books are super cute. There are some parts reading it that you just laugh out loud funny. And the other books in the series, you get, there's a vampire, there's a nymph as well, like a water nymph. That's also really fun. So this is the first book. If you want to try out the series, there's 4 books in total, and it's just super cute. Darius is actually, he's one of the shape-shifting warriors who is actually commanded to guard the portals between the 2 worlds. And so she slips through, and basically what he has to do is he is charged with, they can't know anything since she is part of the real world, or not real, but the not Atlantis. She can't know anything about this world, so basically he has to kill her, which he doesn't, because they fall in love, and it's wonderful.
He doesn't. I mean, that's not in the book series.
I mean, spoiler alert, he doesn't. But yeah, super, super cute. And this is one of the older editions. The newer editions has the sexy man on front, but yeah, this is super cute. I really love this series. I really love anything by Gina Showalter, and you should totally read her.
I posted a poll earlier. I didn't ask the question of what would you turn into, but I asked what your favorite shifters are to read. And so 52% said wolves, 14% said bears, 19% said dragon, and 15% said other. So there's a good mix of, different types of shifters. And when you said the water, what was it? You said something water?
The water nymph?
She was a nymph. Yeah, that sounds, I love this. I'm going to go read the water nymph now.
Yeah. I think it's actually called the water nymph. I mean, I think that's what the book is called. But, so I think that's book number 3. Number 3 in the series. But, yeah.
I think that was like a little hint, wink, wink. Go read this.
Yeah, go read it.
Oh my goodness. Am I saying my fifth pick?
Yes.
Does anyone? My fifth pick is Dreaming of a White Wolf Christmas by Terry Spear. And I wanted to name this one because right now Hallmark is doing their Christmas in July event, and that's been going on. And so this is a Christmas book. I know it's July, and so I figured Christmas in July. Why not? So
that title is so cute.
The White Wolf Christmas by Terry Spear. I remember picking it up in Barnes and Noble, and then I had actually almost purchased the paperback when I had already purchased the ebook, and I do that quite a bit. I'll end up doing the paperback in addition to ebooks, but I had just purchased it. And I'm going, wait a second, I remember this title because it's an epic title. I love it. So I really enjoyed this particular book. I just thought the main character, she's a romance writer, so right off the bat, you just kind of have to, root for her.
Just right.
She's so cute. And so after a chance encounter, Candace is bitten by an Arctic wolf pup. And so she's just kind of out in the wilderness, and this pup has no idea that he can turn. This is why I think I like this book, is because usually when someone's turned, it's because of something vicious. The guy is trying to keep the woman around, or he wants to hurt her to some degree. In one of the books by Jessica Sims, one of the main characters, Sarah, is turned into a wolf by her abusive boyfriend. So, I mean, you'll get people turned. Or another book by, again, Jessica Sims, the heroine's dying, and so in order to save her, they change her into an animal. I think she becomes a cougar. And so for this one, it's an accidental turn. It's not malicious. There's nothing to really prompt it. I actually appreciated that. It wasn't one of those, we're going to have a high drama. It was just this little pup who didn't know any better, and he's kind of adorable. And later when she meets the little pup who turned her, he's so apologetic, and she has to comfort him saying, no, you didn't ruin my life. It's totally fine. I mean, it's kind of a sweet moment, actually. So I really like how she's turned by accident. But because she's turned by accident, she has no idea what's going on. She has absolutely no idea why she's shifting, how to prevent it. She's not sure if it's because of the moon. So she kind of locks herself away from society. She ends up in the wilderness. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. And so it turns out she has an inheritance to collect. And so our hero, Owen, has to go hunt her down. He's a PI. And then he realizes why she's locked away. It's because she can't control her shifting.
Oh, wow.
He realizes because he's a part of the pack with the little wolf pup who changed her. And so he realizes he has to help her learn how to control her shifts because she has to go claim her inheritance as a human. And so getting her there as a human, being able to, get her inheritance as a human becomes the biggest challenge. And so he's trying to teach her how to shift. He's trying to make sure no one finds out about her. He has to take her under his wing. And of course, sparks have to fly because it's a romance novel. So I really enjoyed this book. I recommend it. Christmas in July.
That's so cute. Little baby wolf pup by Dragon Disney.
I mean, she's so cute though because again, it turns out he's part of that pack where the kid, the little pup turned her, and so when she meets the little pup, he's so apologetic. He wants to just take it all back. He didn't mean to, and again, I think I appreciated that it was an accident, and he was just really sweet, and he apologized. He wasn't trying to say you shouldn't want to be a wolf pup because sometimes you have these shifters who get kind of, oh, you should be proud to be a shifter. I just liked the dynamic of this book, and I liked the two main characters, and I liked the writing. So, Dreaming of a White Wolf Christmas.
That even that title is just adorable. I love it. Yeah. My next pick. I don't think I have the book, the paper copy, because I think it's just I have the ebook. It's called Dark Wolf Rising, and it's from the Blood Runner series by Rhiannon Bird. It's number 4 in the series out of 8. I actually, I'm picking this book because I actually read it first on accident. I didn't know it was like, a part of this ginormous series, but I actually, I ended up liking this book the best. It follows Eric, and he's actually what they consider a dark wolf, which means, as he gets older and stronger, his powers are going to just grow like exponentially. And throughout history, a lot of the quote-unquote dark wolves turn bad just because they cannot control their primal urges. And so really the one thing that kind of stops that is a mate, but So Chelsea comes in because she is trying to find her sister. Her sister has gone missing. It's actually with another pack, and that's how they meet. And he is basically charged with, he feels responsible for her, and chaos ensues and lots of action and some really cute moments. She ends up by the bad guys that stole her sister. She ends up getting like drugged into this. It's a drug that really increases. It's kind of like an aphrodisiac, I guess. It just stimulates the emotions that way. And so he's just so like the scene is very like kind of like nitty gritty, but he is so cute in that scene because he doesn't want to like take advantage of her. He doesn't want to, be all handsy, but like she's in pain if she, if it doesn't like ease. So I just thought that scene was like super cute. And it's like, he's just, again, it's the strong alpha, wolf who's kind of reduced to this, puddly gooey mess because of the female protagonist. I just think it's super cute. It's more of a darker, it's not really a lighthearted Shifter series, but I really, really like it.
I love the way you described that. And then we have a question. Let's know. Yeah.
Dreaming of a White Will. Hello, who is the book written by? The one that I was just talking about? Rhiannon Bird. And I'm going to type it in.
I know, now that we have the comments working, I'm like, might as well take advantage of it.
Yes, absolutely.
If you guys have read any of the books we're referencing, please comment and tell us your thoughts about them. If you have any Shifter books where you're going, I need to recommend this, recommend them. I want to know your recommendations. I know I was posting it on Twitter. I was like, wait a second, we gotta post those recommendations.
Terry, oh, thank you for typing that one out because I'm, updating my list.
As we're talking, I mean, last time it was one of those, I don't want to say learn your lesson, but it was one of those, you had to go back and rewatch a 2.5-hour live stream.
Yeah, to get all the books.
I mean, I'm sure I know we love our romances, but that's a lot of romance, the day after the live stream to go back and rewatch it as well. So give you credit.
And I kind of have this issue of like watching myself. I just don't like watching my own stuff, just because.
Oh, yeah. What is it? There's some actors who say they never watch the movies they're in just because it's awkward to see your own movie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it's your turn, girly.
I just saw Bree has a question. Do most Shifter romances take place in the real world? So all the ones that I'm referencing, they kind of exist within the real world. So it's not as if we have Mortal Instruments where it's kind of our world and their world and other things. So it's most of the paranormals that I read are contemporary, but they kind of try and hide out within society. So within society, they're out in the wilderness and people just don't know about them. And so they do exist kind of within the real world, which is why I love the world building, because they have to explain how they exist under the radar most of the time, or they have to explain how humans know about them. And so those are really fun. And I think that's when you can tell when someone knows how to write really well, when they account for those. So if they can give me those world building elements, I think that's a really big kind of pivotal moment in the story to me. And you're nodding right along like, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole, just the subgenre urban fantasy is just that, yes, it's a fantasy genre and typically fantasies take place in their own world, but with the urban, it's kind of like it's in the real world, but there's just paranormal aspects to it. The one that I just talked about, Heart of the Dragon, this does take place in another world, Atlantis. But really, I mean, I'm trying to think of like if there's anything else that I've read that takes place in another world, but no, I'm really just, I'm not the only one by any means, no, but I'm just saying like this is just the one that I just referenced that takes place in Atlantis, but all my other ones are definitely considered urban fantasy because they take place in a contemporary world.
I was going to say, I was just looking down at the ones I already referenced, and Terry Bullrider, I think there's only 2 books that don't take place on Earth. Because again, she has a couple of alien dragons, and so there's one occasion when they're transported back to their alien home planet. And I'm gonna butcher the name, Dracarchus, I think is how you pronounce it. Good luck googling that if you were trying to, because I don't know how to spell that off the top of my head. So aside from that one, they all take place on Earth. And then T.S. Joyce, I give her credit. She actually integrated. It reminded me of Charlene Harris and how they have, coming out of the coffin for the vampires in the True Blood series. There was in one of her series, I can't remember which one, because again, there's 61 books. They integrated how humans learned about the bears and how they accidentally see someone shift. And so then the world finds out about bear shifters. So that was kind of fun.
Coming out of the coffin. I love that.
Yeah. To me, it was reminiscent of the True Blood and how they had that, they had the coming out of the coffin, or they had all those kind of taglines with humans trying to figure out how vampires were kind of, again, I really enjoyed Charlene Harris. It was just kind of reminiscent of that to me. I don't know if that's her inspiration or not, but that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Awesome.
It was a very long answer to this, but yeah, Jen.
I love it. And I believe it is your turn.
Yeah, I saw something pop up. I have my progressive, so I'm always doing my little, how am I going to read this?
It's Danielle. She's like, I'm going to look up some of these books to read while take my break from writing.
Recommend them all. So my 6th book is Lisa Ledoux, and so I'm choosing the 6th book in the series as my favorite, A Bear's Redemption. So she has her series, One True Mate, and if you want world building, this woman has her own terminology. She has a glossary. She has a reader's Bible. She came up with all this terminology, and oh my goodness, she came up with her own shifters, her own worlds. There's a lot of magical elements going on. I mean, you kind of have to pay attention to her books because there are, again, details and things that you're going to have to pick up on. But the 6th one is my favorite. I love my bear shifters. And so Bruin and Willow, they're my favorite couple from her. He's a bear and she's a honey farmer. I mean, you can't get more perfect than that. She has her bees. She really does. She has her bees and she's trying to take care of them, and she's harvesting her honey, and she actually makes his favorite honey, but he didn't know that Willow was the one who made the honey that he loves, and so it's just, they're a perfect couple. And he's one of those, again, you love your cinnamon rolls. He's your cinnamon roll.
I just think that's the cutest thing. She makes his favorite honey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they kind of, he did not know that his fated or true mate was the one who was making that. And then the series this woman, I don't know how she came up with this series, because she has angels and demons and shifters, and it's like, oh my, it's one of those, oh my, like we have everything. And so Willow, her entire life, she's been told she's supposed to have her true mate. She's supposed to be in charge of a certain group of shifters. And so when she realizes she's in love with Bruin, she's trying to figure out, well, what about my destiny? Because I'm supposed to be part of this prophecy. And so there are all these different, moving parts and pieces and variables they have to account for, but they're meant to be, and you're just rooting for them so hard throughout the book, and they're so cute together, because he's one of those guys where he's never felt like he truly belongs. And so, again, I love my first love stories. This is a first love story. He's really sweet. And again, I think I get the biggest kick out of these big burly guys who are just these, really quiet, get these calm dispositions. I mean, he's a giant. I was mentioning before Ramsey in the 2nd book with Jessica Sims, how he's this, 7-foot guy. This guy is also very large. He's extraordinarily, broad shoulders and everything else. And so he's just this quiet guy because he's never felt like he belongs. And so trying to find a mate was difficult. And then he meets Willow and just things change.
That's so cute.
As you nod along, you look like you're melting over there.
I am melting just listening to you describe the book. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, this one's my favorite. I've read the other books in the series, and so I don't want to say they're hit or miss because that's not the case, but there are certain tropes that I just don't naturally gravitate towards. But I give her a lot of credit for the world building. I mean, again, she made her own, like J.K. Rowling, how she came up with her own words. This woman created and coined her own I give her so much credit. And now on the Kindle Worlds program, people are doing their own stories that are takes off of her One True Mate series. I don't know if anyone has ever read them, but I've read a couple of them, and they're really good. She's inspiring other writers, and I think that, you got to give her credit and her props for that one as well. you know, she's inspiring creativity in Romancelandia.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, I'm definitely, that's just too cute for words. That one.
Mean, technically speaking, you can read them out of order. You should read them in order. I feel badly giving you number 6, but that one really is my favorite. I mean, the 6th book is where it's at, people.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. The 6th book of the series with your bear and her honey. The honey farm it's so cute. Just gotta love it.
It's like seriously like meant to be a bear and the honey farmer. I mean, come on.
I mean, how did you even think of that? I mean, I understand that bears and honey go together, but I just thought, you know, the way she paired them was just so adorable. You know, heart melting.
Definitely. Ash Hearts Books. Good night. Thank you so much for stopping by. You probably have a lot more to read. That's been added onto your TBR. Have a good night.
I know. I'm on my 6th one. I think you've already given 5, and so I mean, we are giving you your romance books. I know it's getting late.
My next one here, it's called Eat, Pray, Love by Carolyn Sparks, and this is the Love at Stake series, and this is just a series that is just so cute and witty, and her writing is hilarious, and it's another one of those where the titles of her books are like a little like play on titles of other things like Eat, Pray, Love. Another one is called like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon or something like that, and so she like her titles are just super cute. But for Eat, Pray, Love, the main protagonist, his name is Carlos. He is a panther shifter, and something happened. Obviously, this is number 9 in the series out of 16. So sorry, but something happened to this shifter pack of panthers, and all the children are orphans, and so he takes on all these children to raise as his own, and he definitely needs, basically the panthers are going extinct. Their kind is going extinct. So he feels this obligation to protect these children, also to get a mate that's also a panther to procreate and to, you know, build the population back up. And of course, the one person that he loves with, or he is attracted to at first, you know, doesn't love her right away, but is drawn to is human. Her name is Caitlin, and not only is she human, but her father is actually the leader of the CIA group who is responsible of taking out all kinds of like vampires and shifters and stuff. So it's definitely kind of, oh, we don't think it's going to work because our differences and just our circumstances. But, you know, just because it is a romance, happily ever after, things do work out in the end. And super cute. I love it.
Aw, I haven't read that one either. Now I have to go read this. I love it. As she caresses the book again. I love how she does that.
So yeah, this is number 9 out of 16. The first one in the series, I mean, it's vampires. I'm sorry.
I love how we're doing this to people. Like, you have to go read the first 8 books. Get to the one we're recommending. Because I just did that with Lisa do. I mean, I'm saying the 6th book in the series. So I mean, it's even though I think we've given you now 12 recommendations. I think we really give you like 30 or 40 books at this point because you got to read the first ones to get up to the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, it's very true. Because in this book series, there are vampires, there's werebears, panthers, wolves. So definitely, you know, I would read the series in order because there is kind of like an underlining plot that they're trying to defeat this one evil person, entity. I don't know. But words are hard. But so yeah, definitely the first one in this series is How to Marry a Millionaire Vampire, and
I read that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just really love it. It's a very cute series.
I love how you caress the books. That needs to be a meme or one of those GIFs ASAP. I don't know how to make GIFs, but if someone does, you got to make a GIF of this.
I don't know how to make those either.
I don't know.
All right, your turn. Ooh, someone just joined in the chat. Hi, how are you?
So I have a very random recommendation, but I'll tell you why. So it's called Dr. Daddy Bear. It is a very strange title. But
no, I'm reading it immediately. I love it.
So so again, this is not the first book in the series. I don't remember which number it is, but this one you can read it as a standalone. This one can be read as a standalone. I'm saying it again. It can be read as a standalone. You do not need to read all the other books getting up to this one, because I did not. I read this one first, and then I went back. So you can read this one out of order. So do not feel pressure. So Dr. Daddy Bear by Harmony Rains, and I get the biggest kick out of this book because Dr. Kit Malvern, our hero, he is a foster dad for shifter cubs and shifter animals who are just, whose parents are no longer with them or put them up for adoption. So he's a foster dad, and he's just got this, really big heart. He's just a genuinely nice guy, and he's a doctor, so he's always trying to save people, and he's just one of those, white knights. He wants to just be helpful. And so he meets Nurse Fiona, who's coming because, again, he's the foster dad. She's trying to follow up on this. She does not know it's a cub, but she's following up about the cub. And so she walks into the room. All of a sudden, eyes lock, and he realizes she is his mate. Because this is one of those, as soon as they see each other, they know the mates. They just recognize their mates. And so, all of a sudden, she's got a mate. What do you do with that?
That's so cute.
I mean, he sees her, and it's just, the way it's written is really well done, and I appreciate the fact that there's not a lot of angst with this. I'm not a big fan of angst when it comes to books. I mean, I'm in my 20s, okay? Like, the angst can be done in the young adult, but when you start getting into the adult romance novels, if you're still acting as if you're 16 years old in high school, there's a little bit of a problem there. So there's no angst back and forth with this. They both acknowledge that they're mates, and it's one of those, well, how do we move forward now? It's not one of those, oh, I refuse to acknowledge you situations, which get on my nerves. I've read so many of those where it's one of those, they know that they're mates, but they're trying to break the bond or something. And and again, they can never break the bond. It's just a waste of pages.
Right.
I'm tired. I'm getting honest now. So this one, I love how they accept that they're mates right off the bat, but it's one of those, now how do we move forward with each other? And I also really like the fact that there's a secondary love story as well. So it's not just the main hero and heroine, but there's another love story between the younger couple who are, the parents of the cub, and you get their story as well. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 deal.
That's awesome. That's really cute. I feel like yeah, she's a nurse and she's checking up on, the cub, but it's like it would almost make more sense if she was like a vet.
Well, she's coming. Well, I mean, I call him the cub, but because that's the way they refer to him in the book. So she's
the little baby.
The baby. I should call him the baby. So she's
the baby.
So I think she was a nurse, but then she became a social services person. So she has the background in nursing, which is why she never met him, because he's the doctor and the nurse. So she was a nurse up until the point when he came to the hospital. So they just missed each other. And so now she's working with social services, trying to, follow up about the baby. And again, she's trying to figure out what's best for the baby. And he's going, well, it's a shifter baby, and I have to be the one to, take care of it because he's a shifter. And humans can't take care of shifters.
Right.
If this baby, gets his claws in them, it's not going to go well. It's called Dr. Daddy Bear. So
that's adorable. I love that title.
Right? It's so funny. I'm trying to say it with a straight face, but it's really hard to.
But I love it. It's great. I'm going to read it. So many books I have to read. We have a question. Have you read any books written by Thomas Mann? I have actually not heard of this author. Do they write shifter romances? What kind of genre is the Thomas Mann? I'm not sure. I haven't heard of him. If you've heard of him, Angela.
That name sounds really, really familiar. I just can't picture. Again, I read about 5 to 8 books a week. So, some titles get lost in the mix in the back of my brain unless it truly resonates. So I may have, I don't remember.
And then Bree's asking, how do you come across these titles? When I'm at a bookstore, the only author I've seen is Sherilyn Kenyon, and it's a ton of books by her. Yeah, Sherilyn Kenyon has written a lot of books, like over 40. And honestly, I have a lot of these books that I have come across is that I've read other books by them, and it just kind of leads me to this series. Or I really like when, like, I'm going to see if one of these books has it. Like, you know, the little blurbs on the cover, like down here, that's saying like, oh, it's a really great, you know, if I'm reading an author and it's another author like recommends it, I kind of want to look and see like what this author has written, and just to see like if it's kind of similar. I really like, I'm trying to see if my other books have any of that. Yep. Nope. Of course not. But oh yeah, see, so like this one, I haven't talked about this one yet, but I'm going to. There's a little blurb down here by Laura Adrian.
It's coming. It's one of those coming soon. Here's a little preview.
Coming soon. Don't look at it. But there's a little. I can't. There's a little blurb down here by Laura Adrian. Now, I've read Laura Adrian. I've read and loved Laura Adrian before I even heard about Larissa Ione. So if she recommends a book, then I definitely want to read something that she recommends because I trust her as an author. So that's kind of how I kind of go into like this grapevine of, you know, romance books, is a lot of if authors recommend other authors or other series. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh no, I kind of like your system. I'm kind of all over the place because again, for my dissertation, because I'm studying the romance genre and the romance genre readership, I took it upon myself to read all the subgenres, read all the tropes, read all the major authors. And so I kind of put together my list that way. So I've encountered a lot of different titles from that. But I really do take advantage of kind of those link overs when it comes to Goodreads, saying, oh, if you like this, you'll also like this. So I take advantage of the algorithms and what they recommend. I also really do take advantage of the Amazon algorithm, even though, you know, there's problematic elements of that. But also, again, if another author recommends something on Twitter or Instagram, or I stumble across someone else who I think has similar tastes to myself, I kind of mentally catalog it. If Nicole recommends something, I'm going to read it. If she says something over on her Twitter, I'm immediately going to go to my Goodreads and, you know, put that on my to be read list. So I also I really do take recommendations from people. Over on Goodreads, a lot of people have recommended me things, and I look into them. If you recommend me something, I take that very, very seriously. I do, because if, you know, you've taken the time to input information, you know, I appreciate that. So I found a couple of books do that as well. That's how I actually did an unboxing, or I don't know if it was an unboxing, but a book haul. I'm getting tired. I need caffeine. I did a book haul, and it was entirely based on recommendations. So, I mean, I really do kind of take, I find things all different ways.
Me too. I mean, if you recommend a book, like all of these books I'm going to read just because you loved them, because Angela and I have very similar reading like styles and books that we love. You know, typically if we read the same book, if she hated it, I hated it. If I hated it, she hated it. If, you know, and vice versa. Like if she loved it, I loved it. You know, it's kind of weird how we really like the same things.
Because there was a book one time when people were praising it, and I'm not going to out this book or how we were both reading it at the time, but there was a book that neither of us enjoyed, because I needed to. I had this moment of, what did you think of this book? I kind of did that lean in via Twitter DMing, going, what did you think? And she goes, oh, I did not enjoy this book. And I'm going, thank you. Because I kind of needed that, you know, affirmation, confirmation of, yeah, you know, it's okay not to enjoy this particular read. We really do have similar tastes, though.
Yeah. It's so funny because if I'm reading a book and I'm like, I'm not enjoying it at all. And then I either go on Goodreads or I ask somebody and they're like, oh my God, I loved it. And then I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not enjoying this?
No, and even then, there's something sometimes I think when it comes to romance books, this is my own personal opinion. I think if you don't like the tropes and stuff, that's going to impact your read. Like, I mean, I don't like the Playboy trope. So automatically you're kind of working against if that's not your trope. So, right. I mean, if that's not what you enjoy and that's the trope of the book, that's the archetype or something, I mean, you're already kind of going to be having to work against that. So I think that comes into play as well. Because there are certain tropes I just don't enjoy reading. And that's not to say it's a bad book, but that's just not for me.
Right. I totally agree. Totally.
That's the only way I think of it. I mean, it's not against the writer. It's not against the story. It's just that's not for me. And there's another book that's going to be for me. That's not for someone else. I mean, it's just how.
I completely agree. I love how you just said that. Love
oh, thank you.
It's amazing.
I mean, not everyone's going to like the same stuff, though. It's just, I think I had to learn that, because you say when you say you're going to the 1-star reviews going, wait a second, I agree with you more so than the, majority of the 5-star reviews. I mean, there have been a couple of books that have done very, very well that I personally did not enjoy for, whatever reason. And so, I mean, that's okay. Personally, I don't give books less than 3 stars, or I don't review things unless I like them, because this is my positive outlet. So I'm not going to vocalize my distaste. But I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, apparently someone else, I saw in the comments, I prefer the literary books. I'm like, well, I prefer shifters, so,
Yeah, I was just reading the comments, and that this Thomas Mann is a German novelist, and the title of his book is Death in Venice, and that's probably where you got the title of your channel name. But yeah, I've actually never heard of that book, but more power to you. Everyone, like how Angela said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And April is saying in the opposite, I really like a book and I read a lot of reviews that people hate it. I get that sometimes too, where actually I think it was a book that I just recently talked about. I think it was Heart of the Dragon. I saw like a couple of like 2- and 1-star reviews, and I'm like, I really like that book.
I mean, that's happened to me. I think also, especially when it comes to romances, I haven't done a content analysis of this, but I've noticed this as a pattern. Romance novels, it's very hard to get above a 4-star review on Goodreads. Most of them are around the 3.5, 3.8, something like that. And so there are not that many to start with, because if you're not used to reading romance or you don't like the trope or something, I do think people can be very critical. At least that's what I've noticed. And so I do come across some books that I've really enjoyed where people are going, oh no, I do not like this, or for whatever reason. And it's so funny when their reason for disliking a book is your reason for loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, because again, I like Fated Mates. I think that I really like that concept. I don't know why. I just love Fated Mates. I can't give you the layout of my brain or why I think that's an awesome, sort of, I can't explain it. I just really like Fated Mates. And so I remember reading a book and people were so mad that it was Fated Mates. They were so upset. And I'm going, okay.
That trope's not for them.
Exactly. I mean, whatever. I mean, you can't change people's opinions. I mean, you can just enjoy your own.
Right. Totally true. You get it.
Yeah, this is why we're friends. High five through, social media.
April's agreeing. Me too. Last book that I'm going to be talking about is called Sin Undone by Larissa Ione. And this is book number 5 in the Demonica series. And the first, this basically it's about the family in this book is about Seminus demons. And they're a particular breed of incubus. And this one is about their sister. She's a rare breed. There's not really a lot of female Seminus demons. And so she's original, just like in really rare in and of herself. And she actually has this power to create viruses and disease. And she actually creates this virus that is very deadly to werewolves. And her significant other, her male protagonist in this book is a werewolf, and he's actually a half werewolf, half vampire. So it's really interesting how this gets resolved, and it is the 5th book in this series. Sorry about that. But honestly, this whole series is really good, and the spinoff, I think it's called like Eternal Rider or something. The Lords of Deliverance series, it's a spinoff of this. They're very, very good as well. I honestly just read this entire series in one month. Yeah, I definitely really, really enjoyed it. Again, sorry for giving you recommendations in the middle of a series, but
I think there's something really really interesting about that, though, at least in my head, because it's almost as if the writer will really get invested in their own stories, their own work, and then as they're writing, their worlds just become more real to you as the reader and more real to them as the writer. And so by the time you get to the later books in the series, they have, you know, they know what they're doing. They've created their world. They've created their, they just understand things better, I think, to a certain degree. I mean, I love some first books in a series, don't get me wrong. And I also don't think that means they're any less than. But there's something about once you start getting invested in the characters and the themes and you get to know the writing, and then all of a sudden you're going, wow, this book is the one with my trope. This has got my main characters, and it just all, you know, the stars align, which is perfect.
Right. And I totally agree. Like with series, when you get invested into a series, like I feel like you're getting to know, especially if the characters are, you know, coming back and, you know, you see those characters again and again, and you're getting to know them, and you're really invested in their happiness, you know, as the series goes on. So yeah, I mean, I do love first books in the series too, but you know, in the later in the series, the, you know, the world is, you know, the people in the world, you know, the mythology, you're really invested, and it's just, you know, you're not learning anymore. So, I mean, obviously you're learning, but there's always something wrong going on. But
like everything's established. Like you don't have to get, you know, with Harry Potter, I mean, yeah, she'll give you a little introduction to Hogwarts each time, but I mean, she's not going to give you the same descriptions, or, you know, of the, I mean, you have an understanding when you're going into the, you know, the fifth book in the series versus the first. So you as the reader, I think you get to get more invested in the characters because you're not as worried about learning the setting and, you know, do I like the way this person's writing in the past tense, present tense, you know, like you get to know stuff. So right. I think that lends itself differently as well. As you're smiling and nodding, like, yeah, everything you just said.
I totally agree with everything you're saying. Did you have any other books that you wanted to talk about, my dear? I know you're tired and it's getting late.
It's okay. I'm awake. I'm still awake. I think my voice is hoarse, but I apologize. So I had 2 more recommendations. So we were talking about dragons before. So Mated to the Storm Dragon by Zoe Chant. I liked this one. I can't explain it. I just liked this one. It was one of those, it kind of took me by surprise because, again, I was reading, I think I was going through a dragon's phase. Mm-hmm. So it just jumped out at me. Mated to the Storm Dragon. So Naomi is working multiple jobs. She's trying to struggle to have an income, and she wants to be a painter. She's really creative. And so she has this kind of vision or kind of dreams when she goes to sleep about a dragon. So she starts to paint the dragon. And it turns out, real guy, that's his dragon. So he sees the painting and he looks at it and going, that's me. He's going, how does she know what I look like? How does this woman who I've never met know my dragon? And so again, you got your fated mates concept. I told you I liked it. I'm not lying. You got your fated mates. She's dreaming about him. And, as soon as he sees her, it's over. He saw her. That's it. He's in love. And so I like that. So, fated mates. You got a dragon. You got the world building. It's just a good read. And it's not that long either. I think it's around 200 pages. Maybe a little less than. So don't quote me. But I liked that one. And then I have a very random recommendation. Kind of. It's a young adult one, but The Wolves of Mercy Falls by Maggie Stiefvater. I love the first 3 books in that series. Shiver, Linger, and Forever. I love my wolves. I love Maggie Stiefvater. She's such a talented writer. I just had to give her a shout out. I just had to.
It's a YA.
It is. They're up up there. They're up on the bookshelves up top.
Nice.
Right up there. You got Forever, Shiver, and Linger. And so you have the 2 main characters, Sam and Grace. So cute. They're just melting, adorable. I love them so much. And so she was able to take the idea of wolves and shifters and she just made her own world. I love the way she did that because they're really impacted by the elements with the seasons. And so heat and cold can make them shift and turn. And so that's a really big impact for them. And so the main character, Grace, was bitten. And so he saves her. And ever since then, Sam's been watching her. And then when he finally meets her, it's just love. It's young adult love too, which is also fun. So that was my last little recommendation.
Danny's back and she's asking, is this just shifter romance or shifter stories in general? We're focusing on shifter romance, but I mean, that was just a YA recommendation. A lot of the other ones that we were doing is urban fantasy or contemporary.
This one's still romance, though. It's a contemporary romance series.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought I'd throw it in there. Might as well. Can't go wrong.
So, and like for those of you who, have, went away and came back and, couldn't stay throughout the entire thing, I am going to be creating a list of all the books that we did talk about, and we'll link it, in all the places. So no worries, you'll have all your recommendations in one place very soon, probably within, by tomorrow or the next day. I'll definitely get that up and ready for you.
Because you're just awesome. You're amazing.
Oh, thanks.
You are.
You're so sweet. Yeah, well, that's those are all my books that I talked about here, and I know you just talked about all your books. I got all my paper books here. Here you go. My paper.
What's UF2? But UF, I don't know what that means.
Urban fantasy. I think that's what she means.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is this for? I was so confused. I love how you have your paperbacks. I have my one from Bubbles and Books, which is not. I haven't read this yet. This is a to be read. But I love the cover, and I figured, hey, we're talking about shifters, and this is the one of the very few shifter paperback books that I now officially own. So thank you, Bubbles and Books. Meanwhile, you have your own little library over there. I love it. You look so pretty.
Yay! Yeah, we did talk about some urban fantasies as well. I believe this one, Sin Undone by Larissa Ione, and then Big Bad Wolf, and then Sherilyn Kenyon. They're all considered urban fantasy. Yes.
Because fantasy and supernatural and shifters is
a thing. It's a thing. All right. Well, if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, want to comment, please do. We're probably going to be calling it a night here soon. Shifter series by Rachel Vincent is so good. Okay, Rachel Vincent. Definitely going to be looking that up. Rachel Vincent. Question, with the Dark Hunter series, do you have to read all of them to get the whole story? Yes. I mean, yes, because there is, the plot is a continuation. There is, the villain does spread out over the series of books. And to get the whole world and the whole gist, yes, you do have to read the entire series from the beginning. And it's 28 books, I want to say, in that series right now. Sorry. And in that series as well by Sherilyn Kenyon,
I think we recommended I think we in total we recommended. I had 10. I think you recommended 8 or 9. But technically speaking, I think we recommended you around 100 books because these are all series. So 100 plus recommendations for Shifter Night.
Yes. And the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn Kenyon, she does have a young adult spinoff called The Chronicles of Nick that if you want to read those two, with this series, I do read in publication date order. So when they were released, that's the order I read them in. You are kind of jumping from the urban fantasy series to the young adult series, but you get the story as it was meant to be told. There's a lot of, backstory in the young adult that you kind of get, and that makes the world a lot bigger. There's also another series that is kind of like in the same world, but not the same characters. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the series. Woo! I think it's called Death Doesn't Bargain or something like that. But it's a newer series that she's just releasing, and there's 2 books out in that series right now. But yeah, 28 is a lot of books. People saying, holy moly, the Insatiable Bookie.
I said T.S. Joyce is 61 books. So I was trying to mentally calculate how many books we recommended, because I'm going, okay, I recommended the 6th book out of 10, and I recommended the entire T.S. Joyce series, which is 61, and you're recommending 28. I'm going, we have a lot of books on this new to be read list. So if you guys want to go on Goodreads, I would love to see a snapshot of what this now looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
the Sensational Bookie. I love when she goes nom nom nom. She's the bookie monster.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
All right. Well, I had such a great time. I have, oh my gosh, so many books that I'm so interested and excited to read. Literally everything that you said, Angela. I love it.
Oh, good night, Lady Gizmo. I know she loves the squirrels. I
Yes.
felt like Doug in the movie Up where he's going, squirrel.
Yeah, I think that, it's going to be, there's going to be a squirrel shifter like increase in TBRs here coming up shortly.
I know. I kind of now want to ride a squirrel. I mean, we need more squirrels. We need more badgers. We need more of your little water nymph there. I mean, I know. I think Lady Gizmo, she's going to have to ride a squirrel for, she's going to ride a squirrel.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it and appreciate the recommendations. That makes me so happy.
You're my best friend. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, I know.
I know you're tired, so we're going to call it a night. April, the next chat, August 7th. Yeah, that's when we're talking about Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh.
Yes, and that's going to be on my YouTube channel, Books for My Heart. And then the following Tuesday, Nicole is leading us with Who Picked This Movie, and she chose The Princess Bride. And then the following Tuesday, we will do another live stream on Nicole's channel, and the topic has yet to be determined.
Yeah. You're probably gonna pick it. We're gonna put some options. There's gonna be a poll probably somewhere. Angela and I will discuss and let you know.
I know we did our historicals. Now we did our shifters. I think we were talking about doing either a contemporary night or I think we were talking of. There's a couple other themes we were thinking of. And again, because I'm running low on caffeine, my brain is not functioning at its finest. I'll have to go through our Twitter DMs and see. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations or you have any requests for certain, live stream discussion topics, let us know.
Yes. Anything you guys want to do. Yeah, just either, at Romantics at Heart on Twitter, just let us know. DM either me or Angela or the Romantics at Heart Twitter page. Let us know if you want to do it's like something specific on our live stream, third live stream night. Yeah.
I know. It was so much fun talking about the historicals. I think I've referenced T.S. Joyce in every single live stream.
And I just think that's awesome because that means that she writes in a lot of subgenres. So I think that's really cool.
I know. So I think we're going to end up doing a contemporary one at some point. I think that's going to have to happen. I don't know when, but we're going to have to do a contemporary evening. And then I think, I'm trying to remember the other ones we had. We're going to have to, go through our list and see what the other topics were.
Yeah. I'm just going to write down the book that we're reading for the August 7th meeting. But yes, Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. Thank you so much, everybody, for shopping. I'm getting tired too. I'm slurring my words. Stopping by. And we love talking about romance. Seriously, best way to spend a Tuesday. Talking about romances with you, lovely people, and my best friend, Angela.
I was like, Nicole's my best friend too. I was like giving her a hug through the live stream camera, like normal people do.
Right, exactly. April's saying, I can't wait till I can read a book written by one of you ladies. You are so sweet, April. And Danny is, agreeing. You guys are adorable. I love you so much.
Oh, I know. I know you do have a book, but it's not a shifter one.
I should write one.
I have a little. I am writing shifters. Full disclosure. I love my shifters. I was not kidding. So, I do have my little shifter books. I don't know when they're gonna be out in the world, but I think you just made my entire night saying that. But yeah, I love my shifters. I really do.
I'm your number one fan. I want everything you're ever gonna write.
I'm a fan. I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose, but I am in the process of reading Nicole's first book, and I kind of love her main character. I'm kind of rooting for her from the bottom of my soul. So I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose that, but I am reading Nicole's book currently. I'm making I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh my god, my cheeks are like on fire right now.
I know. She's like, I can't wait to read the book. I'm like, well, I feel special because I'm already reading it. I'm so like, I feel like I'm in the know. So it's me awesome though because I feel like I get to read it before it's published, and once it is published, I knew her when.
You are in the know. Yes, Angela is currently reading my book right now, and it was really, whew, my heart's pounding really hard right now.
I'm taking my time because I was doing my little in-text like comments. So I'm reading it very, very slowly because I'm doing my little comments. So, and I also make sure my comments are, mean something and I'm not tired and, missing stuff. So I'm trying to be in a good frame of mind when I read it too. So I'm taking my time, but I am reading it. And it's an honor and a privilege. And I love Nicole. So obviously I love anything she does with it. I'm rereading her forever for anything.
You're so sweet. I'm like going to cry right now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're making me cry. Woo! I love you so much. Thank you.
As I make her emotional.
I'm very emotional right now. Woo! All right. Angela, I love you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us. Yes, stay tuned. August 7th, we're going to be talking about Slave to Sensation on Angela's channel. Then we're going to be watching next Tuesday, the next Tuesday after that, we're going to be watching Princess Bride. And then the third Tuesday of the month, a live stream that is yet to be determined of what we're talking about. Probably contemporary romance recommendations. But if you want anything specific, please contact us. And I hope everyone has a wonderful night. And we'll see you a little later.
You guys are so sweet. I love doing this. And thank you for hosting. And I know we had tech difficulties, but it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. In the end, so happy you're able to do this. I mean, again, best way to spend a Tuesday. And you guys are the best. I love my romance reading friends. And I love Nicole. I just, whatever.
Yes, thank you so much for sticking with me as I was having a really hard time getting this set up. But yeah, it was totally worth it. I love talking about romances with you guys. And we'll see you next time, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye.